Hello, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you getting ready to listen to this, I'm going to put a preface with this is episode 179, not episode 180. I hope you enjoyed your GenCon, and I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Hello, and welcome to the podcast that discusses all things gaming. Coming to you from the home of Indie PopCon, GenCon, and the gaming capital of the world, we are the Established Facts.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Established Facts, episode 180. That is so weird to say. 180 of these episodes we've done.
We've gone full circle.
I guess we have. I guess we've gone
That was
180.
360.
Yeah, we're actually
only done half the
opposite.
circle.
We've done half a circle.
We've made an about face, I guess. It's been a few weeks since we've been on, and I will apologize only because you didn't get to hear our lovely voices, but ultimately it was because GenCon and life in general, and we're just going to leave it at that. That's okay. Because this episode, we're going to spend some time talking about GenCon. But before we get started, let's go around the table and introduce ourselves, starting to my left.
I'm Avital.
This is Lance.
This is Dr. Deb.
And I am Josh, as I think I said. I honestly don't remember. I'm
think you
not
did.
normally in this chair.
I don't
so
think you did. You don't normally
We're not
take-
normally in any of these chairs. You have moved location.
That's actually part
Only
of
because-
life happening.
Right, only because we're trying to sell our house.
Yes.
But that's okay. We'll have more room to game in the next house, so
Yes.
can't complain about that.
Yes.
Anyways, so GenCon 2018 has come and gone.
That's L1.
Cry.
L1, 51.
L1.
L1. Not,
Are they
not
calling
LI.
it
Not LI.
51, or are we finally in the realm of putting the years
I
on
didn't
it?
see 51 anywhere.
I
I,
didn't
saw
either.
shirts with
Did not see
50th,
51, no.
but not
No.
Yeah, they
51.
were selling some of the old.
Yeah, the
so old from last year.
A whole 1 year old.
50th stuff.
Yeah, but they weren't selling. I just kept seeing Gen Con 2018 everywhere. So I don't. Maybe they're denying their age now. Now that we've turned 50, maybe they're like, no, we're not actually 51. You're just kidding. So
It's not a real thing.
nope.
50 is a cooler looking number.
It is
People's
than
heads
51.
51
I guess
or
that's true.
52
Well, the
or-
50th is a milestone. I mean, even when you think
Exactly,
about
yeah.
like weddings and stuff, your anniversaries, the big one's the first one, and then the fifth one, and then 7 because, we got past the 7-year itch, and
10
10,
years.
20, 25, 50. That's pretty much where it goes.
I don't know. 30 gets some
30.
nods.
Yeah, my parents hit 30.
Yeah.
We're past 30.
I think it has to do 100% with just the stigma around 30, like when we turn 30. So our marriage turning 30, why not? By the way, every once in a while, you're going to hear Miss Maggie Joe. She's
Maggie.
spending some time with us since we took a Gen Con, and she spent it with my mom and Deb's mom, and she did get to go with us on Thursday. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. So let's get right into it. Let's say what favorite part. Let's start with favorite part. I mean,
We're going to go big and bold.
we're going to go big and bold because we usually talk about this for an extended amount of time. Does anybody want to go first, or do I need to go around the circle?
That was a lot of
I'll
quiet
go.
for a second.
Since I have notes, I'll go first.
I have two in my head, and I'm trying to
Go,
decide. So
Lance.
go, Lance. Lead us forward boldly.
All right. My favorite part of Gen Con is and always has been gaming with the kids. So I get to take my daughter. I take her out of school for a day if she's in school. Luckily this year she was not in school, so we didn't have to worry about that. So we take her, we play the Pathfinder Society Academy, so she gets to do her role playing in, and then the day is dedicated to her. So any games that she wants to play or try or go shopping and buy things in the dealer hall, she gets to go and do. And it's just fun seeing the convention through her eyes. So that is always my favorite part. This year was also cool because Adam, our friend, Adam Gottfried, he brought his son, X, to the Gen Con. So my daughter got to play with a child about her age and have fun that way. And it was fun actually getting to watch him learn his math through role playing as well. So those were good moments for me. That was my favorite part.
X was a lot of fun to play with, just in general. Besides that, he has just this super damage per second ranger that the game masters just couldn't believe. I'll tell that one of those stories in a little bit. But
Okay, you're going to tell it? All right. Then I
Oh
won't tell it.
one of us will. It's going to happen. But
Yeah.
he
get
just
told.
was when engaged, but as you know, at his age, when he has to check out every once in a while, but when engaged, I think he was more excited about being there than the rest of us were. And it was a lot of fun to have him around. And I will kind of piggyback off as well with the kids thing, because we took Maggie on Thursday, and I think we spent 3 hours in the Haba booth testing out all their games, and then brought 3 of them home.
Ask us about Haba games. We can tell you about them.
Highly recommend them. They have games for a lot, most ages, but they're very family friendly. And just watching Maggie get super excited about going really does make a good portion of our con. What do you got there, Avital?
I would have to say my very favorite part of the convention was cosplaying with my family on Saturday. So
And what did you cosplay as with your whole family?
I'm getting there. So I only recently started watching Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. I didn't watch TV when I was a kid, so I didn't, I had seen like one episode of it. And I put together a Goku cosplay, which I'm actually very proud of.
Which one is Goku?
Goku is pretty much the main character. He has very crazy hair. Not that they don't all have very crazy hair, but it's like very much is very up spiked and like to the side spiked, and so I had to do a lot of work on a wig to make the hair look that way. But I was very happy with how that turned out. And he wears orange, which is usually not my color, but it's okay.
He wears a prison jumpsuit.
He does. Okay, not really, but yeah. Sure.
But so I was Goku, and my sister, who has come to Gen Con with me and let me dress up her child in the past.
It's true.
It is true.
Well, she wasn't there last
Silently
year
laughing,
because she was due right before Gen Con with my second nephew, who thankfully waited till after Gen Con to come.
Good job. Good job.
Good job.
Yeah.
But we dressed up the boys as the little one was dressed as baby Gohan, which is Goku's son. So he's got this little like green and yellow outfit with like a hat, and he's got his little tail and stuff. And then we dressed up the 5-year-old as Krillin, who is an adult character but is like very short, so it fits. And then my sister dressed up as Chi-Chi, who is Goku's wife.
Aw, that's so cute.
So we had this whole like family group like walking around Gen Con, and
Who dressed up as the dragon?
No one.
But it's a Dragon Ball story. Shouldn't there be a dragon
You
involved?
don't. The dragon is not there most of the time until you gather all 7 Dragon Balls together to make your wish.
Oh, see, I don't watch the show either.
Now you know.
No, but if you watched the bad movie about it,
The real life movie.
yeah,
No,
so bad.
we don't
I've
talk
not even
about that.
seen the TV show. I was like, this is horrible.
No, I
We
think
don't
I've
talk
seen this
about that.
movie.
No. I haven't even seen it. I've just seen.
You've seen people complain about it?
I've seen pictures of the act. No.
So, like the Dungeons and Dragons movie, but not the first one, the second one.
No.
See, I like the second one better than the first one, but that's just. I thought it was more accurate to. Anyways, we're not going into that.
So, my parents were also there, just like walking around with us. My dad was taking pictures with his phone, but my mom was being good being good to me and taking pictures with my
Good
camera.
mommy.
Thank you,
I
Mom.
mean, she's the one that made the baby Gohan outfit, like the whole thing, basically.
That's awesome.
Because she's amazing and does things like that.
I was going to say, because she's like epic. She's, what is she?
Yeah.
Mythic level on
But,
sewing.
she's the reason I have so many awesome cosplays.
Uh-huh. Yes.
She hasn't done all of them. Like, obviously, Goku was, I bought orange scrubs and turned them into his outfit,
Yes.
which actually worked really well.
But I've seen your mom's Pinterest page. It's a
she's-
thing.
She's great. But it was just such an amazing time, like walking around with the little family group and everybody being like, "Oh my god, so cute!" in a picture and just
This is so great.
we did the thing with Liam where you go around and collect the pins.
Aw,
for the
awesome.
kids,
That the
so
kids
he's
have.
got those pins.
Awesome.
And that it was just such a great time, like having that whole little group, like because usually like a lot of my friends like here don't really cosplay like that, so I'm usually just cosplaying for me,
right.
but it is really so much fun to have a group and just have people just be so excited to see you and
Yes.
take your picture and things like that.
Yeah.
We went to lunch at the mall in the food court, and we were in line at the pizza place. I don't remember what it's called.
Pizza de Roma or Luca Pizza,
Something.
the one that's the big pizzas by the slice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
Yep, that one.
And the guy behind the counter was like naming off who we all were and talking about it. And he's like, he's like, "That's Baby Gohan," and he did this and that. And then while we're there in line, like ordering and talking to this guy, an employee from one of the other food places comes over and is like, "Can I get your picture?"
No.
awesome.
And when we were walking past Hot Topic, one of the girls that worked there, she was like, "Can I get your picture?" She's like, "I'm not allowed to leave the store.
Can you come to me? Oh.
It was great. Oh, and did you see that store? Did you walk in the mall at all?
No.
There was a pop-up store called like Dragon's Hoard or something in the mall.
Why was I not informed?
That sold like that had all these like costume pieces and like geeky things and stuff. It was really cool.
Oh, if I had only known, I would have gone.
Yeah, like I didn't know it was there until we walked past it. It was really neat. I was
Apparently,
like,
there's
this
too
is
many
such
things
a
to
good
sell for the exhibit
idea.
hall, so they've expanded to the mall.
Because like other people,
I mean, it makes sense.
It does make
Yeah.
sense.
A lot of empty spaces.
they had like all kinds
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
like costuming things and jewelry and different things, like
Awesome.
super geeky things. It was really cool to see.
Yay!
But yeah, obviously, so the cosplaying with my family was.
Now, Avital, I will say that if you say something way ahead of time, you can organize this little friend group to costume with you because we've
Oh, I
done
know.
like
We have.
Pirate
Like,
Day.
we did
My
Doctor
first
Who.
GenCon, we did Pirate Day. We
Yeah,
did
we did
Doctor
Time
Who
Traveling
together.
Doctor Day.
Yes, we
Time
did.
traveling
That's true
Dr.
because
Day.
you
That's
were
true.
because you were.
Emmett Brown.
But
Emmett
like,
Brown.
It's
That's
just
true.
a lot of the time, like I'm cosplaying from things that you guys don't know,
Yeah, that's true. There's sometimes
like
there are.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a cursory, okay, which character wears black? All right, I'll be that one.
right. There you go. Easiest thing ever.
I understand. It's also just a lot for Gen Con specifically. A lot of the times we are all off doing,
Yeah, stuff and
disparate
things. And, yes, everything.
and so it can be difficult to gather
all the things.
us all together.
True. With your
'cause, I mean, I
family, they-
saw some of you like during Gen Con briefly.
Yeah, I was gonna say hi, bye. It was basically as much.
Oh,
as
your first
we
game
did.
starts at 9. Let's get together at 7 so that we can take a group picture and then we'll go game.
Yes, at 7 a.m. at Gen Con because that's easy.
The parking's easier.
Parking is
parking
very
is
easy.
pretty good
That's
around that
true. You have a point. I don't know if I'm
I took a lot of
conscious,
lifts
but
this weekend.
yeah.
I took several lifts in which I was holding my Goku wig in my hand because I can't wear it in the car.
You can't? Why not?
It's too tall.
Oh, it's too tall. Oh my gosh,
She's
that's
got like a
hilarious.
spike. She could have been a rhino.
That's awesome.
I never parked more than 50 feet away from the building.
That's good. Why? It's awesome to be
But
you.
yeah, we got there 7 o'clock in the morning.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
true.
Okay. No. Mm-mm. Am I the last one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I
Last
mean,
one up.
prior to me, but
Yeah.
yes.
That's
So
one priority. So no, you're not.
Wait, you didn't already talk, Joe?
yeah, you
I
already told.
do plenty of that, but I haven't said my favorite. Let's let you go first.
Okay. So I think my favorite. You already mentioned the Maggie Joe thing, so that it was.
It was mentioned,
awesome.
but if it was your favorite, say so.
It was a lot of fun, but I think my favorite was actually our test play at USAopoly because Carrie came over and joined us for trying out Fantastic Beasts game.
Fantastic Beasts, Perilous Pursuit. By
Perilous
the way.
Pursuit. Yes, and I had such a good time. We all and the lady who did our demo was awesome. She was just fantastic, and all three of us who knew the Harry Potter game already pretty well, and we all knew the Fantastic Beasts movie, so we were all just like, "Yep, understanding the characters. Yep, I get it." And it's a neat design, sort of a Yahtzee-based dice.
Imagine King of Tokyo meets Fantastic Beasts because you use a dice collecting mechanic to raise up and be able to do things to push the beast into
Newt's case.
Correct.
But you can also share dice if you get up to a certain level, and that was cool. There's a team aspect to it as well. Anyway, I really, really loved it. And then we went over and we played Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Gem collecting game, whatever it is, the mining game.
Continue.
That sounds like, oh, no, you don't.
It gets kind of like that. Not quite. This is a card-based game. There's no board, so it's all cards. But a similar idea.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, a gemstone mining game.
There it is. Yes, I was close. And that was fun too. So I think specifically those, but we demoed more games this year thanks to the way the flow of the con went for us this year. And I enjoyed that. Just being able to wander through and know that it's, okay, we got a game in half an hour. We got a game in 20 minutes. 15, time to run. It wasn't really that. It was, we don't have anything for the rest of the day, so we'll just wander, and maybe we'll go back and visit that one eventually. It was a little bit more relaxed, and I liked that because we tried several games. We came home with several games. We're going to be buying more games. But I enjoyed being able to relax and just hang out with my husband and my daughter and cruise the exhibit hall. So maybe that's a more broad statement. And I had a lot of fun doing that.
Well, I'm glad. I think my favorite part, though my wife could not join us, was the second Pathfinder special. It really felt like, unlike the past couple of years, at least on the second one, because the first one is going to be more discussed later, but for 10.00, the opening of Season 10, Season of the Tens for the Pathfinder Society, I think the story that happened there, especially knowing the second edition is right around the corner, it looks like there's really a big build-up that's going to happen towards the end of this first edition and move to the second edition. And as a party, since we did get to play the previous night together, we finally started to kind of gel a little bit more because Adam was playing a character that we hadn't played with yet. And, of course, X was there playing his ranger, and we finally kind of got molded as a party, but it also seemed like they weren't rushing through the parts as fast as they were with Solstice Scar. So they were kind of able to enjoy it. Even with all the stuff that went down, we were able to really kind of enjoy the story.
I was going to say, you were gone for a good chunk of time.
I was gone for like 45
game.
minutes and still felt like I could get back in and still be really in it. Like the whole Haljan tapestry and the tearing of it and the opening up of this portals to allow all these monsters to flood into Galarian, like everything about that, just I was hooked, and I'm excited to see what's going to go from that. Mostly though, I was excited because again, the party was it's a good party. Like we were working
Game 2
together.
was the one where everybody had a moment. Right.
Of some sort, yeah.
Everyone did something that either defeated an enemy or made a check that was vital. So
Yeah.
everyone had that. I did that moment. And
That's right.
That's a good time for
My dwarf jumped off a cliff.
Again?
Well, but
Brogan?
I have. Here's the thing.
Before you were jumping off of like a second story balcony.
This was the best part.
You did it on purpose this time.
I did
Oh, boy.
because we walked into
boy.
this what we were believed to be a dragon's lair.
Right.
And there's this white fog. Oh, like this must be produced by the dragon.
Of course.
So I ran through the fog and of course jumped off the cliff. But I bought boots so that I wouldn't slam into the ground.
That's
I
right.
always
You
land
bought the
on my
boots
feet.
of something.
Boots of the cat.
Boots of the cat. That's
So
right.
I took 2 points of damage and stood up. The dragon looked at me and was like, hello, and then flew over the top
okay.
of me and breath weaponed everyone else in the party.
There
Now,
must be more people up there.
I know.
Wow.
I
Okay.
know that wasn't the big defeating situation or whatever, but it's a story element
It's
that
very
I'm
much a
never going to
story.
And
forget.
it's very much with your character.
Yes.
Very much so.
That's-
Jumps off of things.
Yes, Grogan. You still have not lost the habit of jumping. At least he bought some boots, though, for this. Thank
That
goodness.
was I think Solstice Scar when that went down.
That's
but
funny.
still, it was.
That's funny.
Overall, this weekend, our party all had something that was their moment, and it was just a really good, like, for the 4 society games. Was it 4 or 3?
I don't know. You played.
3 society games
played
we played
3
because it's a
society
full
games.
level. I gained a full level.
Yeah. You played 3.
All of
You,
us.
you were supposed to play 4 at one point.
You played 10 society.
No.
You're now
He's at level 10.
Oh
now.
no.
All right, you ready for retirement?
So
I
you
think
realize that you can't play in our party at a certain point, right?
It all ends next year.
That's
so
true.
it
It's
might
true.
as well
matter.
go out with a bet. Can we get all of our Can we get our characters up to level 10 to join him?
I mean, we certainly are capable. Do we have the time to play 2, 5, 8, 11 games between now and Gen Con?
every other
Yes.
week.
Yes, you do. One a month.
Technically.
Well, yeah, that's true. One a month would do it, or twice a month, and then if there's months that are hard for that. But who would run? And we'd have to have the.
Actually, he would be a good
I'd
good
be a really
candidate
good
for
guy to
running.
run.
That's true. Good point.
I know
Since you
how to
can't
play.
join us, that's a good point. So maybe we should try to do it that way. We
We'll
could all
talk about
be
it.
10,
Yeah.
around
We'll talk
10
about
or
it.
whatever.
So-
retire together.
All right,
You guys
everybody.
move up north closer to me. It'll be a lot easier.
Everybody's least favorite part of this conversation, but it does stand to have, is to talk about what we'll call least favorite. But I kind of going to rephrase that to what happened at Gen Con that you could have done without this year.
You've changed the question.
It does change it a little bit.
It does change the answer.
Because sometimes putting a least favorite is like
My
I had
least
so
favorite
much
is
fun.
always the queue. It's the
will call line?
registration queue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's understandable.
Not will call. No.
Oh.
I want to sign up for these games. Oh, I'm sorry. You hit the enter button the second that it came possible.
Oh, yeah.
And you're now 5,624th in line.
Yeah, it's but did you ever do it when there was no queue? When they didn't have the ticket queue, if you hit the button, you have no idea if it went through at all. And a lot of times the server would just completely crash.
I remember
At
those
least
days.
now they would spit. I mean, we had 4 machines at one
Yeah.
time running on 100 megabit business
It was in
class
your NASA
internet,
Central.
and still couldn't get all of us through at once.
That was when you guys lived. It was you, Woot, Tony,
Derek.
And Derek.
Yeah.
They were all on their computers. It was like watching a NASA control. Like, okay, 10 seconds to launch. It was like watching that.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're all here together.
We do the text countdowns.
Yeah.
as well.
And they're watching together, and they
crazy.
would all hit together. And I'm standing in the middle because it's a great spot because they're all surrounding me. And I'm like, all right. And like, I think I'm in. No, did it crash? No, I don't think it's crashed yet. Hold on. I'm like, this is just
I don't think
ridiculous.
it's crashed yet.
And your NASA control thing, that makes it really
Yeah.
funny.
So,
does.
yes, I'm changing the question a little bit to what happened at this year's Gen Con that you could have done without. I think Deb and I kind of have a similar one.
Yes,
And
yes.
it was not completely Gen Con related, but it did affect Gen Con on Friday night, as you just mentioned. Deb, who's at home with the kids, gave me a call saying that she found that we had standing water in our closet under the stairs in here,
The Harry Potter closet.
which is where I store podcast equipment, some of our games, and as we're in
Yeah,
the
the
mid
TARDIS closet, Harry
Yeah.
Potter closet. Yeah, it was.
we're
flooding.
in mid transition for trying to sell this house, and she stepped on the carpet and it was soaked her feet. So
Actually, it had come out of the carpet. It was on the vinyl.
Yeah.
It was standing water on the vinyl at
Yeah.
this point. I'm like,
Weird.
why is my sock wet? Why is my sock wet?
sadly, that's not the first time we've had a negative thing happen at Gen Con for us. But this was definitely definitely unexpected. Now, that said, I'm going to throw a pure plug in here right now. Creations by Gary Savage, who's been our handyman through this process of getting our house ready. He was not only able to come out and diagnose the problem, he was willing to come out at 11 o'clock that Friday night to try and figure out what it was. And I cannot recommend him enough. Look him up. Online Creations by Gary. If you're in Indiana local, he does great work, and he did help us on Saturday morning diagnose the problem.
7 or 7:30 in the morning on Saturday, he came out, which I think deserves almost as big a prop.
And Peterman Heating and Cooling came out and fixed it because it was an HVAC problem. His name's Gary Savage.
OneCreationsByGary.com.
It's I think that's what it is. I'd have to double check, but he's pretty easy to
Well, if
find.
we're going to plug it, we might as well plug it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Make it
Properly.
properly. But I could have done without finding out that our HVAC was leaking. That would have been definitely could have done without that.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I don't know if it's doing without, though. I really wanted to do the play test for Pathfinder 2.0, and that was Saturday morning at 8 a.m. So at Friday night at 10:30, I'm like, I don't see how that's going to happen, because if we've got to have, if a pipe, we didn't know what was wrong at that point. I was like, if a pipe's gone, if we've got to have a bunch of repair guys in here. We don't know how long this is going to take. So he took the tickets back at like 1 a.m. on Friday night, and he missed the playtest.
Cool story behind that.
Well, that's true. Yeah,
After drop, I went to return the tickets, and I get the tickets. They refund me the money, which is fantastic. 2 guys are standing next to me, literally at the event registration desk, asking for information about the Pathfinder playtest at 8 o'clock in the morning the next morning. And
so legit.
I was like, really? Yeah. I said, I just returned 2 tickets for the 8 a.m. one. That's the one we're looking for. What's the RPG number? And I just asked the guy back for the tickets, and the guy was like, man, handed him the tickets.
Nice.
So I think they still ended up having to pay for them, and us not being able to go, 2 other people did get to enjoy it. So I'll take that.
Yes. Yep.
Instead of somebody realizing they couldn't get in. So.
Yeah. So that was could have done without, but it ended up helping a couple of other people, and so I would have liked to have played the playtest, but life happened.
Okay, something I could have done without was the 65-70 closure.
Oh goodness!
Downtown. That made everyone either route all the way over to 70 on 465 or come down Binford Boulevard from where I live, which made especially morning commute traffic a pain in the keister.
Dreadful.
So, really, Gen Con for me this year was much better than in years previous because I think I was so set and doing things I didn't have time to have a bad moment. But getting there, just like the getting the games I wanted to get or getting involved in any of the games and registered, that was the hardest part of Gen Con for me, was just the commute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You got to get there. To do Gen Con, you got to get there.
Although, I will say that it was the first time I've seen a non-standard vehicle on the road. Saturday morning, I was driving, and I took the highway because I figured not that many people are going to be on the highway at 6 o'clock in the morning.
On a Saturday.
And I saw a UFO driving down the road. It was a car shaped like a UFO.
I love that guy.
With the dome over the top of it, driving at 70 miles per hour on 465.
That's
we are not one of the highways that has a minimum speed.
But he was doing 70.
70.
Oh, yeah. He was doing
17.
No, he was
like,
doing
why?
70.
7 with a
on the
0
highway.
after
No,
it.
during
Great.
convention season, he'll drive all around downtown with that thing.
That's
and
great.
just show it off, let people take pictures.
It'd be like seeing the Batmobile driving down the road.
Yes,
I
exactly.
mean, I've seen it before, and when you go to Comic-Con or San Diego Comic-Con especially, all the time you see that stuff happen.
Yeah.
But in Indy,
Yeah, right. No,
Not
you see
really,
people
no.
driving down the road taking pictures out of their car.
don't do that. That's not safe.
Or have the person in your back seat can take the pictures while
Yeah,
you
okay.
drive.
All right. That's all right.
But that's awesome. We had a UFO for Gen Con.
Yes, we did.
The thing that I could have done without. I mean, I guess your things weren't necessarily specifically con related.
Yeah.
But the thing
connected.
that I could have done without is my wig for Goku being way too small and hurting my head a lot.
Oh, ouch. Yuck.
Every answer to her thing has been an awe. It's either been an aw.
I know.
Aw.
Oh, exactly. You're very awing today.
I bought the official Funimation sponsored wig for Goku. I still had to do a lot of work on it, but I knew that it would actually have enough hair.
Right. To be able to do it
to
correctly.
be able to do it because, but it's too small for my head and just, like it's fun. Like it'll start hurting and then it hurts and it hurts and it hurts a lot, and then it'll kind of like ebb. Like, oh, it doesn't hurt as much now. I was like, oh, now it's hurting more.
Right.
Oh, it doesn't hurt as
You've
much.
gotten used to that level of pain, so now you have a higher level
I
of
ended up
pain.
taking
So
a lot of lifts because I would come in. I would be there for a few hours. Like I wore Goku on Friday as well, even though I wasn't really planning on it because my cosplay friend that I met at Indie PopCon, Tim of HDC Cosplay.
We got a tapper.
Was wearing his Vegeta on Friday, which is also a character from Dragon Ball Z.
Cool.
And we wanted to get pictures,
Awesome.
which we did. So, but I was only there. I actually stood in that cosplay picture area for like 2 hours.
Whoa.
Just like hanging out with the other cosplayers because I was kind of walking by, not having anything to do.
Right.
Because Tim was busy and Jason was in a game, and I hear someone yell, Goku! And I look over and there is someone else cosplaying from Dragon Ball. Nice. Someone that Goku has fought.
Oh, wow.
Actually, in a part that I haven't got to yet. It's actually in Dragon Ball Super.
Okay.
Which is the latest of the Dragon Ball Z things. And so I went over there and I had a lot of fun just hanging out with the other cosplayers, and we talked, and we did silly things like yelling a lot, because Goku yells a lot, and yelling like the power attacks and this and that, and then there was like a Star-Lord cosplayer that's coming on playing music. We all really liked Cherry Bomb, and we're all so he turns that one on, and we're all like Cherry Bomb. We're like, it's our new power move, Cherry Bomb.
Cherry Bomb is your new power move. Wow.
And then we're saying that we accidentally photobombed a lot of things, and then purposely we're also photobombing some pictures. So we're like, that's our second new power move. We have Cherry Bomb and Photobomb. Anyways.
Oh, goodness.
But yeah, the wig hurting the head was the thing I could have done without. And a friend of mine had some issues with people taking pictures without asking, and when someone is obviously like has part of their costume off, when they're trying to rest.
Right.
And there are signs everywhere, and they post things about this all the time. They ask for pictures, and cosplay is not consent, and that involves taking pictures and things as well. So just people need to be more cognizant of that, and not when it's obvious that someone's sitting there and like they have a
giant foam head.
A giant foam head that is off.
Right.
Like, don't take their picture. They're trying to...
Unless they're wearing a Deadpool mask. If they're wearing a Deadpool mask and their giant head is off, you can still ask.
That is Deadpool, though.
But
he breaks every rule.
Deadpool is different. Yeah.
Yes. But, yes. There could also have been some, I don't know, these people might have been noobs, and maybe they just didn't know what they were doing. I'm going to try to give them credit.
But yeah, and I just... And even people don't necessarily read the signs that are all over the place saying, ask for pictures. And I mean, cosplayers know that they're going to get their picture taken, and they're fine with it. Just ask.
Right. But I've also heard stories of cosplayers getting into situations where other cosplayers would then come to their rescue. If someone is being aggressive, other people will jump in and say, "Hey, man, that's not cool. Don't do that."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the cosplay community is, as I've experienced it, is very friendly and supportive of each other. I mean, because not everyone understands even why people cosplay.
It's true.
And so it's nice to have each other's backs. So.
Well, since the original question was least favorite, did you have something you wanted to share about your least favorite part of Gen Con? If not, we can move on.
My least favorite was the queue.
Got it. Okay.
Right. We mentioned this.
All right. Let's see. So the next part that we tend to talk about on these podcasts are what will we change? If that has to do with we could do without, fine. But what will we change about our Gen Con experience?
Are these things we can change or things we would change if we had like the power of Gen Con and could change anything at Gen Con? Or is it things that I can actually like change?
I haven't ever thought about it in that manner.
Because there are things I can change. There's things I can't change, but I would.
Are you doing a serenity prayer for your comment? Set the things you cannot change,
right.
Change the things you can.
Right. Okay, here. You're all going, what the heck? Okay, so what I would change if I had the power of all Gen Con at my disposal would be not going till 1 a.m. on the Pathfinder special.
Oh, goodness.
I would end it at midnight, because then if it goes over, it's not going over till 1:30 in the morning. It's going over till maybe 12:30 in the morning. And for the people who want to play those early games like the Pathfinder 2.0, which was at 8 a.m. on Saturday, for instance.
There were other Pathfinder games going on at 2 o'clock in the morning, so people were rushing from one table to another.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, yes, but when you look at the Thursday Friday setup, it was 9 to 2, 2 to 7, then 8 to midnight, 8 to 1, and then 2 a.m. Like there was a break, but then on Saturday it was 8 to 1, 2 to 7, 8 to 1, 2 to 7. Mm-hmm. So. Though I understand what was going on there, maybe it's time we figure out how to make society 4 hours instead of 4.5
instead of 4.5 or 5. And so that is what I would change if I had all power. Now, Paizo's going to do what Paizo's going to do. Let's be honest.
They did take advice for the Academy, and they made the Academy a 2-hour game.
Good.
Because at one point, it was a 1-hour game for the kids, and they would get a full level and some prizes.
Okay.
And then a bunch of the society people found out that they could then do that and level up their character really quickly and get a bunch of the kid prizes, which were better than the adult prizes any day of the week. And they spammed it. They all started joining that. So Paizo said, all right, now Academy is a 5-hour game for kids.
Wow.
That was last year. And I have an 8-year-old who was 7 at the time.
Yeah.
She could not handle a 5-hour game.
Could not handle. I can barely handle a 5-hour game some days.
So many people complained about that they brought it back down to a 2-hour game. That
Better than
gives
one.
It gives you one experience.
Okay,
So
right.
it's just like playing a regular Pathfinder game. It doesn't give you near the prizes because you pull from the adult prize wheel.
Okay.
But still, it's 2 hours instead of 5 for children, and they say that you have to have a child with you if you're going to play that game. You cannot just be an adult that goes in.
That would be the first thing that I would have done is only 16 and under, 14 and under, whatever whatever line you would choose to draw between.
And they also made it that you have to play a first level character. You can't play.
You can't play a
1,
sixth
2,
level
3.
character.
And
You
they
can't
write
play
the
with-
character's number down on the sheet, so that you can't fill it in later with another number.
You
Good.
do understand? Okay, then you might want to check here because if it is that case, I don't think you can use that level on any character above first level.
Correct.
Okay.
That's
In
what-
previous years, they did not have that rule. This year was the one where they changed that.
Okay.
I think that's reasonable.
I do
if you're
too.
Doing kid
I now
stuff.
have
I think it's
a second level character and a level character.
Okay.
yes.
So that's I will give Paizo credit that they are able to run a lot of games for a lot of people in a short amount of time.
Yes.
I personally agree with you that if they could change the time frames, it may be a little easier for some.
8 to midnight, that then they've got that half an hour of squishy you could go over, and that it could turn into a 4.5, but 8 to midnight, because they went over, what night was it? Thursday night?
Yeah.
They went to 1:30, and I'm like, oy vey. I'm like, no, especially if you're a daytime worker, you are turning into a pumpkin by 11:30 anyway.
Yeah.
So like, ugh. So that one, and I didn't even play in that. I just got to experience lying in bed, and then all of a sudden my husband comes in, and it's like 2 or 2:30 in the morning, and I'm like, what the beep is going on? But I'm like, okay, I'll ask him later. Go back to sleep. So, yeah, if I had all power, I would take the Paizo power and just scale it back a little bit of a notch for the late night specials.
If I could change anything, I would take away some free will of people. Because
Stupid happens.
Especially in the dealer halls, it seems like people are less and less polite. Walking through the aisles, giant bags, and I use a walker when I'm in the halls because walking for that many days and that distance gets to me. People in the scooters and people in actual wheelchairs, they aren't getting around as fast, and people just bang and bust, and they'll step over a person to get to where they need to go, just to go to the booth where they're not even going to buy something, they just want to look at something cool. So I would take a little bit of the free will around and just say, hey, everybody, form lines, move at the speed of traffic. If you need to see something, step into the booth. If you're going to talk to someone, step to the edge or step into a booth and talk to them. And generally look out for your fellow man, because not everyone is doing so. So, again, having the power to do anything, just make people nicer and more considerate. I would take considerate over nicer.
Yes, I would too. We dealt with that a little bit. We had the double stroller with Sam and Maggie both on Thursday, and so negotiating inside there with the double stroller is an adventure. I think I should have gotten a level for that. I did have some people who were very nice. I had the mix. I had some who were just like, "Oh, here," because I'm trying to get through this sea of people, and I'm like, and I'm paused, and I'm holding. I'm like, I can't get through, and people are like, "Oh, here, yeah, go ahead." And then I had others who just kept walking. I'm like, You're gonna step on my daughter, like you're gonna slam into my 6-month-old, dude. Like seriously, your bag is like the size of Madagascar,
And they
you're
think
gonna,
you're rude for taking up so much space.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, if you want to hold on to my 4-year-old because she's not going to have the legs to walk this hall, then you go ahead and do that, dude. But anyway, sorry, another story. I actually think our stroller is it's in a line. It's not wide.
You get the
It's
limo.
yeah, we got the limo to make it slimmer so that it wouldn't take up as wide a space when we're at, say, Disney World or the zoo or Gen Con. Because those double wides, you could block the whole aisle. I don't have that. I have the one that's in a line. So that was nice. It was very mobile. Shout out to Zoe
Stroller.
Strollers. This thing got its stripes at Gen Con. I'm like, this is awesome. Because there were times when I literally had to turn on a dime to be able to go the other way because of the way traffic was or whatever. And it was able to do it. Now I had to be, don't hit somebody, but I could actually do it. So shout out. If you want a good stroller that will survive Gen Con, Zoe Strollers, check them out. You will not be disappointed.
I don't know.
I wish that hotel prices were reasonable and that there were more hotels so people can enjoy staying downtown, including ourselves. We live here,
Yep.
but I remember the advantages to staying downtown when we did do it those couple of years.
Yep. Just walk downstairs.
Even having the baby. Like just being able to, like Deb or myself or Carrie, just to take the kid to take a nap so we could then continue on the rest of the day. He's got one good nap. That'd be great. But at the $379 or more per night downtown, and there's such a limited amount, it's not justifiable when you live in town. It's just not. And I appreciate the hotels are more there for the people coming into town, and our traffic is usually really pretty good, and we're able to get in and out of town when there's these big things without too many issues. But 65 and 70 being closed, and we have a 6-month-old, it would have been nice to be able to stay downtown. But Adam was saying that it would have cost him $2,500 to stay 5 nights downtown. It cost him $1,000 to stay 5 nights by the airport and take
Which is
lifts.
still a 15-20 minute drive in.
Right.
Yeah.
But
And they had to
with
Uber
Lyft,
in or Lyft in.
which he lifted like 4 times because I was able to pick him up or take him home 3 or so nights each week of the week. But
Yeah.
it's still, that's much cheaper. And frankly, in my opinion, a proper pricing structure. But that's if we could change anything.
Yeah.
It's supply and demand. That's the supply is so low and the demand is so high. Yeah, I agree. It would have been awesome, especially for the late night games, because then if we had, maybe I could have actually played a few hours. Maybe I wasn't going to be there the whole time, but could I come down and just, I don't know. Could he have actually not had to spend an hour and a half getting home because he dropped off Adam and Xander and it was a half an hour late? And yeah, but if you live in town, it is not reasonable. I am not popping out $400 a night for the JW or whatever. I guess that was the JW. That was about $400
something
a
like
night.
My wife suggested that we just put a mattress in the back of our truck and sleep there.
Oh, yeah.
And if I didn't have to shower every day,
Right.
Because you're supposed to shower
Yes.
every day.
With soap.
Let me say this again to almost every room I was in, shower every day.
I mean, like the start of Thursday, I'm already like, how are you already?
Gross and disgusting. And like we haven't even started Gen Con yet. Like they just rolled the die to start.
Like I was on Thursday walking around in the dealer hall with my friend Heaven. We were cosplaying from Miraculous Ladybug together, and I couldn't be in the dealer hall for that long, honestly, for a variety of reasons. Just all the people and the crush of people. And,
Yes, that's a good description.
everything. I was just like, I need to leave this room now.
For my own safety.
This was the first year I had to use elevators to get around. And even the elevators had a residual stink as if someone slept in the elevators. It was really bad.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
I would also change that. I would make people more polite, considerate, and shower.
Hygienic.
Yes.
Yeah. It's still a thing. It's sad that it's still a thing, but yeah, shower with soap.
So that was going
There
back
has to be soap
I have
involved.
To shower every day. I also want to see my kids every morning, give them a kiss goodbye before I leave.
Yes.
So that's why we didn't sleep in the car.
Yes.
But
fair enough.
it would be much easier
Yeah.
to do that and like go to a hotel room that a friend has and say, just can I borrow your shower for the morning?
Exactly.
I'll
Exactly.
call my wife.
Well,
If we had an RV,
I was going to say, it does make me think about the RV as a solution.
maybe we'll
for-
buy an RV just
a
for Gen
future.
Con.
rent one.
Rent
you
one,
can rent
yeah.
one.
Rent one.
Rent
Okay, that's not a bad idea. I bet it'd be cheaper than $2,500. I would hope.
It's somewhere. We'll talk. We don't have the details yet, but it changes all the time. And if we start giving that away, then the prices will go up just like hotel rooms.
Oh dear. But what we won't say on mic. Okay.
So that leaves us with what are we looking forward to next year? It's kind of our standard set of questions. What are we? I'm looking forward to the end of Pathfinder First Edition and the beginning of Pathfinder Second, and I'm not. I have been with Pathfinder since it became an official rule system, not since the 3.5 licensed stuff got pulled and they were making just their adventures. But when the core rule book came out, we had one of the first prints. I still have that first print. It's not exactly in the best shape, but I still have it.
We used it.
You should get it signed next year.
But that could be. That's not a bad idea. I should have picked that up. No, I didn't. I'm glad I didn't pick that up. But we'll talk about that in a minute.
It's in storage right now.
Sorry. Well, I won the D20 with the Pathfinder Society tokens, and I picked a battle map because I knew second edition was coming, but I could have gotten a brand new core rule book and then had them sign it, and they were... Anyways, but I'm not a big deal. But with second edition coming, I'm not going to take the approach, and I never really have, of Pathfinder First Edition or die. I'm not. Look, the second edition's coming, and if you want to be a part of the society events that, frankly, I enjoy the camaraderie. 700 people playing the same game is absolutely amazing.
That is really cool.
And the only way to do that is to play the current edition. I'm like, fine, we're going to play the new edition, and that's okay. So I'm going with that, and I'm looking forward to how is Paizo going to send the first edition society characters out.
Yes.
Are they going to send them out with a bang? Is just everyone's going to drop dead, and you're going to start a new character?
Maybe they all ascend. Maybe they all go into a celestial or whatever plane you like.
Go with that, but something happens in Starfinder. What happened in Starfinder to make Starfinder happen?
Oh, because Galarian, the planet of Galarian disappeared?
Yeah.
That could be. But then again, how do they continue with Galarian? Do we go somewhere else? Does maybe Galarian disappear and now we're on another planet? I don't know.
Maybe by disappearing, it's the whole Vogon constructor fleet thing. No one knows where it is because it is now atoms. So now you're either Starfinder or Pathfinder 2.0.
So yes, I'm looking forward to the release of Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and it will either be we continue with Pathfinder or we move on to Dungeons & Dragons, but I'm pretty sure that we're going to stay with Pathfinder because we appreciate everything Paizo's doing. Paizo is maintaining a level of inclusivity while also giving you the ability to make creative characters the way you want to make them. And though the gameplay may be streamlined, it's your character, and you are able to do that. And I'm super excited to see where that goes.
In a similar line, I'm excited to be able to play the Pathfinder special next year, because by that point I should have an 18-month-old and an almost 5-year-old.
And a babysitter?
And a babysitter / grandma, grandpa / mama, / family.
Natasha Swartz, if she's still in town.
Yes. Hello, Tasha. Yes, please. Hi.
I'll pay a babysitter if I have to.
Yes, indeed. Because I want to be there. That's something I absolutely want. I want both. I want to be there for the send-off, absolutely. And if they're going to start 2.0, I mean, I think they're going to do their first. I imagine they'll close 10 years and then they'll open the next night, would be my guess, but who knows? Possibly,
but then you're looking at, which could be fun in itself, a Pathfinder special of 700 first level characters.
I think that's hilarious. No, I want them to do that. Exactly. Think about it. You're closing out with your 10th, 11th, 12th level characters, and then the next night, bam, you're first level again. Here we go. You got 9 hit points. So let's do this.
The ultimate goblin attack. That's what that is.
Yes, goblins over. See, Lance is look at, he's got
I may go to GenCon next year.
I think that'd be awesome. All these high level, tough. Oh yeah, my 12th levels, which is so buffed out and everything. Oh no, now you're first level. I think it'd be awesome. I would have a blast. That's when you run around and get creative and you do fun stuff because you don't have the power spells, so you'd come up with other funny ways. First level is so much fun. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward now to 2 Pathfinder specials.
Don't do that.
More cosplay.
Look at you.
Yes.
We looked at Avital.
This is everyone turned their heads to look at me at the same time. And now Lance is being creepy.
Yes.
No, Lance is being Lance.
That's
it just
also
comes across as creepy.
True. Honestly, like, generally the things that I look forward to are cosplay related, as Deb said. I don't know specifically. No, okay. Rewind. I already know what we are doing on Saturday of Gen Con next year with my sister and my nephews.
That's very early.
Well, I haven't worn my steampunk Lady Loki in a while.
Oh, yes. When does Infinity War Part 2 come out?
I don't know.
Hopefully Loki
May.
will be hopefully Loki will return.
Who knows?
So I know many women were weeping when Tom Hiddleston.
If
spoilers.
Marvel wants to make their money, then they will.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because I heard the weeping of women during Infinity War. So
Somebody kind of spoiled that for me, like right before I saw the movie. I was like, really?
Aw.
Anyways, so the
Lady Loki.
steampunk Lady Loki. So I'm going to be wearing that on Saturday of Gen Con. We already have the toddler Thor costume. So he will be at that point almost 2. The littlest one will wear the little Thor.
Little Thor.
And then we're going to dress up at that point 6-year-old, probably as Captain America or Iron Man or somebody.
Yeah,
someone.
Thor, Loki. Yeah, I'm trying to think who you would have.
It's also kind of like what
Hulk.
does he want to do?
We have a Hulk.
We'll
Loki
see.
could be like,
when we get
have a Hulk.
closer, we'll be like, hey, who do you want to
Yes.
to do?
Who do you want to be? Yes,
So
absolutely.
that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes.
I do really like the steampunk Lady Loki.
It
My
looks
mother
awesome.
Did amazing, and I mean, I did help, but it's more her than me.
It's beautiful lines, and
It is
looks-
also just warm.
yeah, especially in August. How
Lots
many
of
layers are
fabric.
on that thing? Yeah,
Yeah, and because I'm wearing a chemise and a petticoat and a corset and then synthetic.
yes,
Lots of synthetic
layers of fabric. Nothing's breathing in that thing at all.
Yeah.
Yes,
The last time I wore it, I ended up like, because I am wearing a chemise and a petticoat and the corset underneath it, that's like already a full thing of clothing.
Yes.
I took all the green stuff off and left it in the car and then just was walking around. And I'm still
you're still covered.
entirely covered.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, which is more than a lot of people there are. So
If it was the 1800s, it would be scandalous.
scandalous.
But hey, guess what? It's not.
It's not. We're in Gen Con. You're more modest than a lot of people that are there. So that's hilarious. But
So I am really looking forward to that, and also like whatever.
too bad you can't cosplay Lady Loki in winter. January Lady Loki.
Well-
you would be set.
Possibly. There are upcoming conventions that we'll see what the winter looks like.
We'll see. There is. I don't even remember what the booth name was called. I feel bad. But I bought a pair of like leather fingerless black gloves.
Was that the corset station?
No,
Okay. I know the guy
I
that
don't
runs
think
that.
so.
Leather layer? No.
No, they
Leather
were
layer,
like
Crimson
they were
chain.
farther on the
Crimson
like
chain.
high numbers.
Uh-huh.
Like that side.
Like 2,300 and over.
Leather layer was on that side of the building.
I don't.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Uh-huh.
They did have a lot
But-
of leather stuff.
Okay.
Jason bought some stuff there too. This like, anyways, it doesn't matter. And I am going to be doing a version of Cat Noir entirely based around these leather fingerless gloves, like whether it'll be kind of steampunky or medievally, or I'm not entirely sure
Lots
yet.
of buckles. Just put buckles
But-
everywhere.
Everything is buckles.
That's like a whole new cosplay that I like did not intend on doing, and now I'm like, I have to do this because I really like fingerless gloves, and these are just really neat.
Okay. Cool. So
One thing not related to like a looking forward to next year, but I didn't buy at the convention because they didn't have any at the convention, but from Medieval Collections.
Medieval collectibles. Love those guys.
Medieval Collectibles.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Not collections. I bought a chainmail shirt for
Ooh.
my LARP character, my werewolf, because she has
An
chainmail.
actual chainmail shirt, yeah.
Nice.
an item card for that.
Is it heavy?
It's like 15 pounds. It's sitting right there on your counter because I didn't want to leave it in the car, and I'm going to LARP later today.
Oh,
For all of you listening, Deb is now going to go look at it. And
Yeah, it's like 15
listen
pounds.
to the chinkiness of it.
But yeah, that was a very cool thing that I bought at Gen Con. Uh-huh.
That is some serious ring mail.
wow.
That is not just chain mail. That
They
is
had
ring
if you
mail.
ordered like through Gen Con, I ordered on
Bring it
Sunday.
over here so we can listen to it.
It's a great workout.
You had a code for free shipping, so I got the $14 shipping for free, and that was $105, which is honestly not that bad.
That is the sound of what looks to be over 1,000 rings.
There we go. The Foley portion of our episode.
Now you have theater of the mind.
I'm gonna let Lance hold it to get a workout too, because this is legit.
This would be a highlight of the
Lifting
episode.
My 2-year-old right
Yeah,
now.
right.
I got nothing.
There you go.
But yeah, it's really cool. Avital.
Are you going to try and wear that next year too?
You should try to wear that every day just to get used to it.
I mean, I don't know if I'll be wearing that at Gen Con or not. I'm sure I'll be wearing it.
At FedEx or UPS.
UPS?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll wear it at UPS.
Paint it brown.
I bought it for LARP, but like since I have it, I'm sure I will try and think of things to utilize it.
Sure.
For otherwise.
Sure.
So we'll see.
Beware of magnets.
Yeah, right.
It's so true. No MRIs for you when you're in it.
What's the question?
What are you looking forward to next year?
Here's a little secret about me. I had not planned on going to Gen Con next year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's the cost, the time involved, the time away from my kids was getting to me. I mean, it's a lot to just
is.
play games. And
It is.
I don't play a lot of random games. Like this year was the year for me to just go out and play games, and maybe not necessarily with the same people, but in years past, it had always been I play games with Josh and Deb. And then I play a game with Avital and Josh and Deb. And I play a game with Don and Josh and Deb. and maybe my wife joins us. So I was paying exorbitant amounts of money to play games with the same people I was playing games with every other week.
Every other week anyway.
Yeah.
So I
Yes.
got the why. Why do that? And especially since I have an nth level character and you guys aren't quite there,
Right.
I was going to skip a year.
Okay.
And then Josh said, "Oh yeah, Pathfinder Society ends."
Well, first ed ends.
First
but,
edition ends, yes.
Yes,
So-
but that character won't be able to be played in 2 years.
Well, I mean,
So-
there's always the
Yeah.
return of the.
That's true.
Well, that, and I mean, I have personally, like, I have the PDFs for seasons 8, 9, and 10, like all of them, and a lot of, I think, season 6 and 3. So technically, all those scenarios could be played again to
We
continue
could
leveling.
home game them. And
Correct.
Yeah.
then-
And they've
true.
said that. They have said, if you want to continue playing anything that we have out there, by all means, we're not going to get rid of anything
they
you've
can't
purchased.
stop you.
It's
That's
right.
the thing. You own that.
Right.
Right.
They're not getting rid of anything that was purchased, and they're going to keep the stuff on the site that's digital. They may not have physical copies. You have to get them through other sources, but
Gotta have price books. You
Yeah.
get
Exactly.
them there all the time. Especially
Anyways.
when a new edition comes out, all the old books start showing up.
Yep.
I still have shelves of 3.5 books from D&D because I'm not getting rid of them.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
kids can start using them. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I think next year, what I'm looking forward to is I might just attend next year.
Just come on, let's all either go out with a bang or we all
I
get
may not
portaled somewhere.
last the whole 4 days, but I might just go.
Gen Con in a small dose. Even you go one day, I still count that you went to Gen Con. So
No, I don't
come
think
for
it's
two
worth
specials.
it to do one day. I think if you're going to go, you should go for a couple of days. That way, you get to have the gaming experience, the shopping experience,
exhibit hall
because,
experience, yeah.
There's going to be that game that everyone wants, and you're like, oh, I got to stand in the front of the line, so I get that game.
So I get that game. Yes.
We did that actually. Vanessa and I, my wife Vanessa, and I we played test the Disney Villainous game.
Yes, we saw
have
it.
it
We didn't.
Tuesday.
We didn't get a chance to play it, but
supposed
it
to
looked
have it
good.
yesterday, but UPS.
Anyway.
We are
Every
pointing
day they had a
fingers.
certain number of copies, and they would sell out very quickly. So much so that on, I think it was Saturday, they had another shipment quick expressed to them, and another 100 copies expressed to them. So they had them later in the afternoon, and they said, stand in line at this time, and we'll have so many copies. And it turned out to be like 50 copies, so it wasn't a whole lot, but still.
Yeah, I was saying, not a lot.
My wife, being the lovely woman she is, went to the front of the line and said, I'd like that game. And the guy's like, the back of the line's over there. She says, no, you don't understand. I've been here for every day trying to get this game. And he's like, no, the thing's over there. And then she pulled her spectacular, I get to jump to the front of the line card. Mm-hmm. And the guy's like, okay. So people behind her in line were a little upset about that.
Sure.
I'll bet they were.
However,
I'll bet they were.
while she was standing there and doing a talking thing and that she does, the creator of the game showed up with the copies of the game. And my wife, lovely woman that she is, again said, since we're all standing here, would you mind signing everyone's copy of their game? And the people in the line started liking the fact that she got to go to the front of the line. Because the creator of the game said, yeah, I'll sign everyone's.
Okay.
So we have a copy of that game that
Nice.
we wouldn't normally have gotten.
Nice.
That's signed
That's signed
that you would normally have gotten.
that you wouldn't normally have gotten.
Oh my.
We're going to call this the honorable mentions portion because I was going to mention, we should do it. We're going to do an honorable mentions for Gen Con. I would consider that honorable.
Wow. That she got that sign for all the people behind her. That's pretty phenomenal, actually. Wow.
We also do a thing every year, and I was going to mention this as the things that we're looking forward to. Every year, I go to the Blind Ferret booth. The creator of the Least I Could Do comic, Summer
yeah.
and Lar, they're always there. They always give out free copies of a game called Dicks and Krakens, which I refer to as combat shoots and ladders. Mm-hmm. And every year we take that game to the Spaghetti Factory, and we have lunch on Saturday. And every year we play it there, and we try to involve the team at the Spaghetti Factory, our server, the dish boys, whatever. Mm-hmm. This year we played it, and the lovely server that we had won the game. Mm-hmm. So I gave her that game.
Aw,
And
that's cool.
I said, here you go. You've won. You won a game.
You won the game.
And then I had her take pictures so I could send it to that company so that they could, use it as a promo or whatever. Within 5 minutes of her taking it back there, the whole team that was there, including the manager of the Spaghetti Factory, were playing the game. No one was getting their food. They were so busy playing the game.
They were so busy playing
People
this
weren't getting
game.
their food. So I had her take pictures of them in the back playing the game and gave those pictures to the team of Blind Ferret. And they wrote me back a nice little thing saying thank you and so on. And every time I go from now on that I can get free copies of the game.
Because you're giving it away randomly to whoever.
Because it's getting out there.
That's
And,
exactly.
It's a marketing tool
You're
instead of just
you're
a
marketing.
freebie.
Exactly. You are
I
marketing.
should ask
'cause
them for a job.
You should. I was going to say volunteer. Wait, don't volunteer. That doesn't always go well at Gen Con, but sometimes it does. I've had some people who had great experience and others who haven't with volunteering. I keep thinking that'd be fun to volunteer, but then I'm like, but then I couldn't do what I want to do. I think I want to do what I want to do.
If you sign up for the True Dungeon setup and teardown, you get your ticket paid for.
Right.
And you get to enjoy the game because you're only doing setup and teardown.
You're not actually running the true dungeon. Yeah, that's true. Maybe when Smammel's a little bit older.
So there's a tip for everybody that wants to play and play their games.
Exactly.
And get in for free. I know
Set
some
up and
people-
tear down.
So there are people that just do that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Honorable mention?
No, I have to go.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you have anything else you want to say?
Got to go.
Not really. I had a good time at Gen Con. The games I actually played were a couple LARPs. One of them was a 7th Sea LARP, and the other was a Star Wars LARP,
Neat.
which were neat, but it is difficult for me to get into something where there's just a bunch of people that I don't know because I'm shy. But they were really cool, like set up, and a lot of people were costuming and things like that. So
That's cool.
it was fun. Those are the actual games that I played at Gen Con, and I did go see Mikey Mason on Saturday night.
You went to
Good.
see
He was over at the Lucas Oil.
Yeah, he was in one of the meeting rooms in Lucas Oil,
Nice. Oh.
so that was cool.
Honorable mention?
Lovelace and Babbage.
Artana Games.
Artana Games is the overall games. Lovelace and Babbage actually is going to, that was the doorbell. They're going to actually come in and talk to us. No, not really. I have no idea who's at our door. This is kind of freaking me out.
That's okay. I'm pretty sure it's Kevin who's got my games. Yeah.
Oh, more games are coming in our house.
Yay.
This is awesome. Anyway, Lovelace and Babbage is Artana Games going to Kickstarter here in the next month or two. So it should, I hope, be out by next Gen Con. Maybe we'll be picking it up at next Gen Con. Really neat. Math, it's in honor of Ava Lovelace.
Ada Lovelace.
Yes. Who is credited as being the first computer programmer in the mid 1800s. So I'm so excited. We played through a round of it, and it's got math, and I'm a geek, so I got to do math and have fun at the same time. I was in heaven. And then I also played, oh boy, what did we? No, we bought Speakeasy Blues, and we bought Edison versus Tesla Current Wars with the expansion, because it only plays well with the expansion. And then we also contacted our guy Kevin for like 17,000 other games. I don't think it was quite that many, but lots of other games that we want because we have a guy. So we use
Kevin Manning, Griffin Gaming, and what is the name of the place up there in Lafayette? Merlin's Beard.
Merlin's Beard.
Make sure you check them out if you're up in Lafayette.
How do you spell Merlin?
The usual spelling,
Right.
Merlin. Yeah.
There you go. Merlin's Beard. They have lots of games for you to test and play. Kevin actually jumped in here and is delivering some games for me. We'll talk more about that in a minute. My other honorable mention, and I can blame Derek for this one, is SRG Universe's Super Showdown.
Oh, yes.
Which is a like wrestling card game. With dice and whatnot. And it utilizes like characters that look like your current WWE characters, but not them. Like The Undertaker is Rob Graves. Cannot help but giggle at that one.
Graves.
But they also have some of the licenses to the
other
independents.
One is Abel, his brother Abel.
Nice. Definitely want to give a shout out to them. Looking forward to playing a bunch of that. So with that said, we've mentioned Starbase Indy the weekend of Thanksgiving. There are, I'm sure, other conventions coming up. Make sure you check out Gen Con next year. BillCon, of course, we've talked about Bill Stivers and those guys. That's coming up in October, but that's an invite only, so don't be mad. It's just truth. You get an invite every year.
I know.
Stop it.
Say, you've been invited to last.
Did you? I have an established fact. Did you have one?
I have nothing.
You have nothing. Okay.
Right.
So I had to write this down just based off our conversations.
Do you know the previous fact, or are we just going to say
I don't. I don't. I didn't write it down.
We don't have a professional moderator this time. Don is not here.
That's okay.
Josh is only a sub. Remember that.
This episode 180's established fact is Pathfinder Society 11-00 Attack of the Goblin Horde.
Yes.
Unofficial.
We think it needs to be a Goblin Horde for 700 and blah.
700
first level Pathfinder 2.0 characters. I want to see this.
There you go.
This should be a thing.
Well, thank you all for joining us. And as Don would say, we will catch you later.
Bye.
Please visit us at www.theestablishedfacts.com and our Facebook page, facebook.com/theestablishedfacts. If you would like to support us by buying some merchandise, visit cafepress.com/castingrobot.
Bonus